Hey, Steve. Yeah. Hey, Jessica, nice to see you checking in. Hey, Chris, you got some people checking in, Steve.
Yeah, welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody. Looking forward to doing this with you, Cam.
That's awesome. Right, we're counting down, folks. Keep it up in the comments. We want to see your questions. All right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Hey, Steve.
Cameron, the man. How we doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm so excited to speak to all these people that want to know a little bit more about LinkedIn and leveraging it for their business to grow. So excited to get into it with you. We've already had so many folks checking in on the chat. I'll let you, I think you know some of these folks. So why don't you shout out to some of these guys?
Yeah, actually, I am trying to figure out how to navigate this LinkedIn Live. So I guess, so yeah, hi, Mario. What's going on, Austin? Welcome from Ecuador. We met each other in my neck of the woods about a year ago, and we just stayed in contact as he moved to Ecuador. So good to see you. Hey, Glow. Jessica, I know we're meeting at 3:00 later today, so good to see you, and I look forward to seeing you again. And 1031 Rob is in the house, Mr. Robert Mark Petcha. So good to see you again, seeing you. We saw you this morning, so that was cool as well. So welcome, everybody. And again, love being on. We're here with you, Cameron. Obviously, can't wait to do this with you and maybe do it again as well.
All right, so let me send this out right now. We actually had Jessica who's talking about making the move from Facebook to LinkedIn. So I think, why don't we start right there with why should you be on LinkedIn? And then we can slide into how to actually leverage LinkedIn for your business. So whether it's for your personal brand or for your business, why should you be on LinkedIn, Steve?
Well, I mean, listen, if you want to be in the business world, right? If you've got a more of a lifestyle brand, then yeah, Facebook is probably a good place to be, right? But if you're trying to penetrate the business world, LinkedIn is the place, right? I mean, it is where business is done. It's where you're going to be able to talk business. It's not typically lifestyle focused, so it's that simple. It's the place to be if you want to do business.
I love that. And what can we say to somebody like for the whole LinkedIn versus Facebook versus TikTok versus, all these other places? Why is LinkedIn the place for you, and why should it be the place for so many other people?
Well, I'm just going to get a little personal here, right? So, for me, I'm about business, right? When I play, but when I want to do business, I want to do business, right? And Facebook and some of those other mediums are great, but I found in the past when I got into those mediums, I got sucked into. I don't need to hear about Johnny went for a cup of coffee and I see a post on that. I really didn't need to see that. And so when I want to do business, I want to do business this way. So again, that's really my mentality. It's a place where I'm not feeling like I'm wasting time. And again, I know there's a value to all those other mediums, but for me, I'm looking to do business.
Yeah. And I'm just going to add a little bit of context, right? LinkedIn right now for your business is one of the best places to get engagement. There's actually 2 social media platforms that really allow for organic reach right now. One of those is TikTok. So if you're not interested in the dancing and figuring out this video platform, which I really encourage people to do, because if you get into that piece of the technology, you can create content that you can then take advantage of on LinkedIn. LinkedIn and TikTok are the 2 places right now that you can really get a lot of organic reach, which means if you post something on LinkedIn, second and third level contacts can see your content, and you can really reach people that you wouldn't otherwise reach. If you're on Facebook, when you post something, it goes to some of your network. On LinkedIn, you create a good post on LinkedIn. And I'm just going to lay out for everybody that's watching right now, a great way to lay out a post is ask a yes or no question. Something along the lines of where you offer your value. I think you got voices going in the background, Steve, if I'm not mistaken. So you want to set up a post that says, are you reaching who you want to in your network? Even shorter than that, but something along those lines. This morning with Diane Betty, it was, are you a good storyteller? Question mark. That's a yes or no question. It creates a conversation. You can have some information, do some hashtags, have a video or a photo that's native to LinkedIn, and then in that, post that, and then in that first comment, tag a whole bunch of people that you know are going to comment on that. LinkedIn eats that up in the algorithm. You will be exposed to so many different people.
Absolutely. And for me, in terms of, I think you got to figure out where you're going to invest your time, right? When I was looking at all these mediums, right, am I going to focus my time in all of them, right? I heard the phrase years ago, winners focus, losers spray, right? And I know you could post in a lot of places, but that's really where, I chose to put my time, and I choose to continue to put my time. If I'm going to invest somewhere, I think LinkedIn. And I agree. I haven't gotten in the TikTok world yet. Hey, sis. So my sister's on the line. It's good to see my sister, and also want to say hello to Liz Gabor of the Liz and AB Gabor team. And Chris, good to see you as well. I don't think I gave you a shout out here. So, but it's great stuff. Hey, Cameron, shoot, I'd love to be able to give the folks that don't know you a little background on you, right?
Oh, sure. If
you haven't met Cameron, I suggest you reach out, connect with him. He's does an amazing job with Biz Dev Live on, I think, is it 11 o'clock every day? Is that right?
11 a.m. daily. There's a video going
Eastern
up
Standard.
every day. That's crazy, but yes, that's happening.
Absolutely. It's amazing. And Cameron, we were on a video call earlier, and, when you talk about somebody who actually has pivoted, this man has major pivoted, right? He was in event planning, still is, business that took a huge hit because of COVID and completely, went you can't say 360, went 180 and totally reinvented himself, pivot. And so, Cam, I have tremendous respect for you, what you're doing, and
Thank you.
to learn a ton from this man. So I just wanted to give a little context to Mr. Cameron Toth, and it was also, he's doing a cool networking event on Tuesdays at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. I was privileged to be invited onto that at 12 o'clock last week. So it's going to happen again, or this week, I should say. And it's going to happen again this coming Tuesday. So if you can get on that list and see if you could be let in. We'll see if Cameron will let you in. Worthwhile being a part of, and he's doing it very different than a lot of the typical networking meetings, including some music and fun stuff. And it's definitely, Cameron, he's got a different, he's got this sort of, I don't know, I'll call it a hip hop flavor to him, and I love it.
So I want to tell everybody, I just posted the link for the networking event. If you're seeing your comment come up and it looks like that, it's just because you haven't let StreamYard sort of show you. You have to actually go to StreamYard and give permission. So that is why we can't see you. I know Lynn is somebody that posted from, let's see if I can find it here. I'm trying to read both posts. So Lynn Moore is checking in from Southport. And then we got Amy Schellenberg from Texas. So that's the reason your names aren't coming up. We're going to do this every Friday, and we're going to try to provide a whole hell of a lot of value. Jessica says, can I catch the replay? Just wanted to pop and say hello. Yes, this will be available on YouTube. So you can go to Cameron Toth on YouTube. We'll try to get Steve to set up his stuff so we can post it over there as well on a YouTube channel. Just a quick note on YouTube. It's a great place to store your content, bring people back, and deliver value to your business. Video on LinkedIn, just a note on this though, if you're sharing things on YouTube, it's great to share content native to LinkedIn. You will get more reach, more traction with that post because the algorithm that LinkedIn uses, they want to promote LinkedIn. They want to keep you on LinkedIn. So anything that is a post that takes you off of LinkedIn automatically is going to take a hit. They're not going to promote that as far and wide as something that's native to LinkedIn. So keep that in mind when you're sharing photos and things of your business. That is something that LinkedIn is looking at. So if you can sort of create content specifically for LinkedIn or sort of segment your content for LinkedIn, that's going to get you a lot more reach. Steve, you have built an incredible network, 11,000 connections on LinkedIn. I only have a measly 2,400 folks on LinkedIn. How can I be more like Steve?
Well, first of all, I was in your shoes, right? So when I started this whole process, I think I might have had 200 LinkedIn connections, and it's a focus. You have to do it daily. It's not going to happen organically, right? So a couple things that you can do right away. LinkedIn has a way in which it actually connects to your phone or your email, so that it actually will make suggestions, and you could fundamentally hit select all, and you could blast out LinkedIn invites to everybody that you somehow are connected with. Whether it be through email, through contacts in your phone, it'll blast it out. And so that automatically boosted up my LinkedIn connection. Not to brag or anything, but I have 16,000 connections, contacts in my phone. So I don't know if I had that many back then, but I had a lot back then too. So that was one quick way to kind of get out, spread your net a little bit initially, but it's a daily effort, right? Every day or regularly, sometimes multiple times a day. I'm looking and seeing who I could connect with. And then of course, people are connecting with me. So it's just a daily effort. Doesn't happen daily. And I want to just say one more thing, Cameron, because I had a conversation. I don't know if she's going to join me here today, but I had a conversation with a lady, and I wasn't going to be argumentative, but she said, oh, I am a big believer in I want to keep my network tight. And that's fine. You can, right? But why does LeBron James have $1 billion contract, lifetime contract? Because he has a big network.
Yeah.
To reach, right? And so, if you're using LinkedIn as purely like a phone book, right, for people okay. But if you want to use it for what it's really worth, which is, expand your reach, get your message out, connect, credibility, reach people that you need to speak with, it's a great tool. So my recommendation is make it big as possible. Hey, what's going on, Bob? Bob Abate. Good to see you, Bob.
I want to get to Elizabeth's
mentality.
She has this question, and then we'll get back to expanding the network, because I want to talk about particularly like social media that's like private, right? You got a Twitter that's private. Like, to me, that's a text message conversation, not social media. Right. You put it on social media, it's out there. So it sort of begs the question: if you want to keep your network small, why are you on social media? But Elizabeth's saying, what do you mean by native? You don't use StreamYard for LinkedIn. So we actually are on StreamYard today. We're using StreamYard to broadcast this out. But the sort of the catch here is that this content is original and created to LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is StreamYard partners with LinkedIn. They're connected. And what we're doing is we're creating original content right now on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn wants you to stay on LinkedIn. Right now, if you want to see this content live and interact in the comments on LinkedIn, you have to tune in to LinkedIn. So that is why LinkedIn likes this content.
So let me also clarify a little bit more, right? So if you want to, do a picture and you want to post the picture on LinkedIn, don't do a link of the picture. Take a snapshot of the picture and post the picture as a picture. You're going to do a video. Don't go to YouTube and get the link to the YouTube video and post that link. It might look like it's a video on LinkedIn, but they don't like that. So take, you guys know every Friday, sometime later today, I'm going to do another one, but I do a Fired Up Friday video. I do it right from my phone. It's a video that I shoot right from my phone, and I don't post it onto YouTube and then repost to here. I'm putting it right on LinkedIn, right from my phone. That's what native also refers to. It's not a link from somewhere else. It's going directly on. Hopefully that makes sense.
Beautiful. I want to go back and address this question from Chris. A challenge I have is using LinkedIn to create real relationships. As an insurance agent, I need to know my clients, and they need to know and trust me.
Absolutely. Well, and listen, no doubt. People do business with people, know, like, and trust. And I know in the insurance industry, it's definitely a lot. It's really challenging. You've got like certain regulations and things that you got to deal with. So here's what I do, right? And I'm not in insurance and I'm not in a regulated industry, but this is what I do, right? Number one, I'm always growing my network. I don't think anyone can have a challenge with that, right? Number two, every time somebody connects with me, every time, I am reaching out with a personalized message. It's not spam, saying, hey, something to the effect of, it's great that we're connected, but if we don't know much about each other, what good is being connected? Let's schedule a call. Let's get on a call or a Zoom call. Have a conversation with that person. And what's the motive of that call? To really get to know them, to really see how I can add value to them, not sell them something. How can I add value to them? Who can I connect them to? Who can I? What book that I've read recently that would be helpful for them?
Let me expand on that, because what Steve is saying, sometimes it's difficult to understand that when somebody's saying it. This is what it was in practice. Me and Steve, we connected through Master Networks. I think we connected quickly through LinkedIn. We set up a face-to-face. I'm sitting in the Chrysler building, my office, when everything was good, and staring out the window of the Chrysler building in that office, and we're having a conversation. And I'm like, Steve, what do you do? He's like, what do you do? What are you into? And, he sort of listens to me. He says, hey, have you read, sorry guys for the out of frame, have you read this book? And I got to say, that phone call and him recommending this book changed my friggin' life. And instantly, Steve was in, right? He was in, not like, oh, he's a good, he was in. He recommended something to me that changed my life, that really helped me and my business move forward. So when Steve is talking about be a resource, provide value, that is what we're talking about. Provide value. Give something to the person that you're talking of yourself. Be in the moment. And I got my graphic here. Listen, right? We want to listen. Make sure
What's that?
you're listening and then responding, not waiting to respond. Big difference
Absolutely.
there.
That's great. And Cameron, so one of the things,
Chris, let us know if that is helpful. Let us know if you need some more on that. We're happy to expand. I know Steve is, but if there's something that you have a follow-up question, we'd love to answer that.
Please. And listen, one thing we know, talk about LinkedIn algorithms. LinkedIn really likes when you guys comment, clap, thumbs up. So please make a lot of noise, please. We're going to get to Robert's here recently, but I want to just since or the 1031 Rob, I want to just expand one more thing, right, for Chris. So Chris, when I do have, and Cameron and I did this, when we had that phone call, we told each other our stories, right? I despise when people get on a networking call and they're like, so what do you do? So what do you do? To me, it's so boring. It's bland. Hey, Luann, good to see you. So what I do is I say, hey, it's great. Let's really learn about each other. I'd love to hear your story, your journey. And then I love if they start, but if not, I'll start. It doesn't matter. And I want to hear their story, not just what they do. Because, you start to connect when you start to understand and learn about the person, not what they do, right? Also, and I know we're not doing much of this these days, networking events. I remember going to a networking event with a guy named Tyler, great guy, insurance guy, speaking of that, Chris, and finance and insurance guy. And we're at a networking event. There was a couple of speakers, and we go to introduce ourselves to the speaker. And the speaker says, so what do you do? And about 3.5 to 4 to 5 minutes later, Tyler's still talking. Later on, I said, Tyler, let me give you a little friendly, advice.
Stop.
And no, don't pitch the guy. You just give 20 seconds. What about you, right? And you always want to be listening, like Cameron said, listening. What are some of the challenges? What do where are you looking to go? That is more important than telling your story, because eventually people are going to lean in. They're going to want to know about you eventually, but you got to earn that. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox here.
No, I love that. And one of the things, and you'll hear it if you attend on Tuesday, the BizDev Live networking thing, and I'm really big on, is if you're going to talk, if you're going to open your mouth, make sure you say something. And what do people want to hear? They want to hear your story. And what is a good story? Besides being interesting and really personal to you, it has a beginning, it has a middle, and most importantly, it has an end. Stop talking and start listening, right? All right. So, Robert, 1031, right? I recently went premium on LinkedIn. Steve, worth it or waste of money?
Well, I would do the free trial for a month and get as much out of you as you can. For me, it hasn't been worth it, right? There's a few factors that it does that, it gives you, like, I don't know, I want to say 10 in messages a month. What do you do with 10? It gives you search capability, unlimited. That's helpful. But if you're strategic about it, so what? The one thing it does do, which I've worked around, is it shows you who viewed your profile well after days or so later. Whereas with the non-paid for subscription, you could only see a few hours and then it goes away. So if you're in there a lot, you could see who they are, and so that's my workaround, right? I don't know. I don't see a lot of value in it. I do see the value in maybe getting the free trial for a month and then turn it off, and get as much as you can out of it for that month, for sure. But that's my feeling. And a lot of people that I know who are LinkedIn people, LinkedIn, like, specialists and experts, they say the same. It's not necessarily, and I don't know if LinkedIn is going to hate when they hear this and they're going to.
You're on. You're done. No more live for you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think, it's really important to understand if you're going to pay for something, make sure that you get a value out of it. I think for a lot of people, they pay for the LinkedIn thing. They have the little golden symbol behind their piece, and it's more of a status symbol than anything. I will say I pay for LinkedIn Premium, and I'm not always sure why. I think right now I sort of hang on to it because there are some features, like you can see who viewed your profile, and it gives me some sort of sense of that I'm getting some value out of it. But honestly, I'm just probably not paying attention really on what I'm getting and what I'm not. But I will say this, if you have LinkedIn Premium, one piece of value that you may not be taking advantage of is LinkedIn Learning. There are courses offered on LinkedIn. I actually interviewed Oz Du Soleil, really interesting guy, has 29,000 people following him on YouTube. They picked him up to do LinkedIn classes on Excel. So if you have a challenge or wanting to get deeper into Excel, you go to this guy for classes on LinkedIn. If you have LinkedIn Premium, he wears different hats. He's got character. Excel can be a dry topic. This guy goes into it step by step, and there's a lot of great learning on LinkedIn. So if you're paying for that status symbol, take advantage of some of the really great learning. There's classes on tons and tons of different things. So maybe we're telling you, hey, you don't need the LinkedIn Premium, but one way, if you're already paying for it, you can take advantage of it, is to check out that LinkedIn Learning. It's really good.
Good stuff. I just want to say hello to Emily Hennessy. Good to see you, Emily. There's a few people that joined on that I didn't get a chance to say hello to. So again, we'd love to hear any questions or comments or claps or thumbs up or hearts or whatever. So
yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that I really like from the audience that's watching right now is, hey, you have an issue. There's something that you would like to dig deeper in on LinkedIn. You would like to leverage LinkedIn for your business right now. You have a pain point. You have a struggle. Let us know what that is so we can really deep dive into it. Let's see here. If you're a Westchester County Library System card holder, you can use LinkedIn Learning, lynda.com for free. Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. And I actually am a Westchester County Library System card holder.
Great tidbit. That's great. Thanks for that.
I learned something today. Thank you very much. That came from, because they haven't, Fenton Joseph.
Fenton, the man Joseph.
Digital, yeah. So guys, we need more questions from you. We need more stuff. I'm going to let Steve dive into a little bit of his presentation that he gave in terms of, and I really want to go into this because you are great at expanding your network. And I think one of the big tidbits that somebody can get out of today's presentation, today's LinkedIn Live, is that you don't need to do it all today. You don't need to be massively huge today. Matter of fact, that's usually too hard for anybody to do. You can't necessarily eat the elephant today, but one bite at a time. If you add to your network, you can grow your network, and then your network can become your army, and they can start growing your network for you. They can start referring people. And that goes back to what Steve was saying before. Are you providing value to the people that are already in your network? I know people that have a lot of connections, but they don't have a lot of relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. So another, besides one of the things that I spoke about, which is, making sure that if you're, when you get a new connection, you're reaching out to want to have a conversation, a follow-up conversation. Not everyone's going to answer, and it's amazing the variety of responses that I get. Sometimes people are like, what for? Like, why? Like, I want to slap them upside the head and say, well, why would you get on social media then? Like really? But I know I'm nice and pleasant. And then some people don't answer maybe, and that's okay. Maybe they're just, maybe they don't go on LinkedIn a lot, and that's possible as well. But I get a lot of phone calls, and I appreciate that. But another thing you can do is I love the, congratulations on your work promotion or your job change or your work anniversary or the birthday one. I got mixed feelings about that one, but you could comment, you could hit the button, and that's all I do. I don't customize it. I say, hey, congrats, whatever the button puts it as. And when I get a response, that's when I send a message. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, I'd love to catch up to see what you're up to lately. Let's jump on a phone call. And again, sometimes people respond and they're open to it, and others not. But my feeling is, if you're if you're active in that way, you can build rapport. And if you do have a network that's 2,400 or 11,000, and you're doing that kind of stuff, you are developing relationships, and it's not just a whole bunch of random people on your profile. You've got that. Now, the other thing that I know Cameron's really good with it. I as of I think I'm at week 56 now, or 58, but I made a commitment. My friend Rob Genovese, great guy, he suggested doing this, right? And I started posting a video once a week, every Friday, right? Every Friday. And, that's another way. And what is my post? It's not me selling my services. No. It's adding value. It's some kind of message that's hopefully helpful to the people out there. And again, that's adding, that's creating a relationship, so to speak. So I know and I do this a lot, right? If especially somebody just coming out of college, or somebody who got laid off, and they're in my network, they're here, I'll suggest, hey, why don't you give me a list of a few people on my network that you'd like me to introduce you to? Well, because of the credibility of posting videos and reaching out to people, and not just being sort of anonymous on LinkedIn, there's credibility there. So when I do make an introduction, many times it elicits a response from the person I'm introducing them to, and often will result in at least a phone call. Don't know where it's going to go from there. That's on the person, right? But that's another way, Chris, in which you can actually leverage and create LinkedIn, in terms of making sure now that you're creating relationships and getting value out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so maybe I missed it, but did you talk to him about paying for LinkedIn ads?
I didn't. So I see that popped up. I don't do business page ads. I haven't. I think you could do a lot without that. But again, I am not. That's not my bailiwick. So I don't have.
I would love if anybody has actually done that in the comments. I've done ads on Facebook, for different things. I have not paid into LinkedIn. So if anybody does have experience on the paid side of things, now I have a ton of experience on the organic side of things. And so I literally have people 600 views, thousands of views on a post talking about that template that I laid out earlier, that yes or no question, some information, hashtags, native video, native photo to LinkedIn. You can go on my post, you can see me photo next to Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank. And that just simple photo of me next to Barbara, and, that kind of strategy, and thousands of views, right? So you create some commentary, and then first comment on that post that you put up, you're going to tag a whole bunch of people that are going to comment on that. And as people, comment on that, it will promote it organically. So if you've tapped out that and you need to move into the paid, then we're going to work on getting some advice on that. Bob says we've done a couple of campaigns for clients in our own firm, 0 results. So I would really work on the organic first. My hot take on it is that if your organic is strong, your paid will be better. That is definitely the teaching from a lot of folks, ClickFunnels, all that stuff. That is definitely a thing. You want to do the A/B testing. It gets really complicated into the technical areas of all this, but get great with the organic. And then when you've tapped out at that, then get into the paid. And then that's when your paid can help explode the organic, because then it's going to get pushed out to everybody. But it's got to be strong, I think, on the organic, so you can work with organizations, social media professionals. Maggie Carey, who's in our network, is a good person to go to find some people that, if you're not already doing great stuff on social, work with them. And we got another question from 1031 Robert. Steve, when attempting to reach someone via InMail, what do you typically put in the subject line if they don't know you yet, don't have a connection in common, and you are trying to grab their attention?
Well, first of all, I just want to say a quick hello to Don Lee. I want to say a quick hello to Jim Sherb And Alan Greenwald, I just want to say, acknowledge you guys here. Appreciate the support. But so honestly, Rob, I mean, the truth is I'm not using that. So I don't use it a lot, right? There was a time where LinkedIn for free was having a subject line that you could put in there. And back then I was getting good response. In fact, I remember the subject line, I don't know if it's going to work now, but was question mark. That was my subject line. And then I sent it to the CEO of a pretty large regional bank, and it got me a meeting with her, her CFO, and her director of HR in the conference room of their office from just a coffee question mark. And then, hey, it was very brief, very, very basic. So, I think it's got to be simple. It shouldn't sound pitchy. But I mean, it's just like email, right? But I don't use the premium, so I don't really have a lot of suggestions on that. Cameron, do you have? I know you have premium, so anything you're using?
I think, again, it goes to if you are connecting with somebody, right? And this goes to like what Steve says about, because he has this goal of like meeting 3 people randomly. And normally when we're not in the pandemic, like he's at the coffee shop and, if you've heard Steve talk, he's going up to somebody and he's sort of making a judgment, not to compare people to dogs, right? But, if they sort of bark at you, you back away and no, if they sort of, everybody's cool with it, you can get a little bit deeper and really engage. So I think LinkedIn, because I do send the in-mails. I don't send a bunch of them. I try to connect organically with people, but occasionally I've asked to connect with somebody and they didn't immediately say yes. So maybe there's some follow-up. I don't have their email, so I'm trying to do that deeper dive with them. So figure out where your commonality lies and give them a reason to connect, provide value. If you send them a link, like check out my website, it's real sales pitchy. It's really, really, really sales pitchy. And I got a little bit of a surprise. So hang in there because we're going to talk about some LinkedIn don'ts that are really important. Sort of keeping that in my back pocket for later, but stay tuned because that's sort of where I think the in-mail can really go off the rails if we start talking about all the things that you shouldn't do. But I really want to talk about what you should do in advising for this question. Really make sure that you are providing value. Look at their profile, look at their background. Where did they go to school? Where are they living? Do you have a location, school, business, contact in common? Reference that, name drop, and provide the value. Make sure there's some social proof so that when they hit accept or want to respond, there's a reason for them to do so. They don't feel like they're just getting themselves involved in a sales conversation. I think, one of the interesting things about New York City is that, people kind of walk with their eyes down. There's not that engagement there because they're so used to, like, if they raise up their eye level and somebody gets eye contact, somebody's going to come in for the pitch. So that's why people sort of keep their head down. And LinkedIn can be a community where we're all kind of have our eyes up. I certainly do. But if somebody's coming at me with that hard sales pitch, shut down. Somebody I might have engaged with, I might say, nope, I'm taking them out. Because especially with LinkedIn, because it is a business community, if you're hitting me with the sale, I think you're going to probably do that to my contacts. So I'm like, nope, yank that away. I don't want you reaching out to my people and hitting them in that way.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I have something I wrote up for my because I'm sure you guys get this as well. It sounds like, Cameron, you're saying you're getting it as well, where people are trying to pitch you, and that's the last thing anyone wants to do. Again, we don't want to go off on a rail on what not to do, but this is a good one, right? So the opposite of this is to create value, right? So when somebody pitches me on LinkedIn, this is often what I'll say to them. Hi, Joe, I really appreciate the aggressive approach, but to be honest, I'm big on doing business with people I know, like, and trust. I much prefer to get to know someone before I'm ready to be presented something. However, I'm open to have a phone call to not to hear the pitch, but to really get to learn more about each other professionally. If we feel I really, I got a typo here. If we feel good after that, we can have a follow-up meeting and learn more about your product and service. I hope that makes sense, right? So, yeah, I'm not here, and I think we're not. I don't think you and I, Cameron, are alone. I don't think anyone wants to be pitched. So Rob, the point is, figure out a way that you can add value. And to me, I lead with, hey, maybe I've got someone in my network that I could introduce you to. To me, that's one big add value that I have, right? A busy, successful professional. I learned this years ago. A good friend of mine, Bill Shulman. I don't know if he's on here now, but Bill told me this a while ago when I was working with him. He said, you know what? You've got a lot of experience, Steve. He said, you've got a diverse background, a lot of expertise in different areas, whether it be in marketing and sales and in the martial arts, right? Entrepreneurship. He said, you have that. So you're bringing value to somebody. Don't underestimate that. And then the other piece of it is a network, right? So those are two strong things that almost, I'm sure all of you on the call here have, that you could offer somebody potentially, right? So I like to start with that. And then, hey, if there's something that I happen to sell or market, okay, we'll get to that. But let's start there. How can I help you? You're muted, Cameron.
Sorry, I sound the background here. So one of the things I want to go back to is Robert's comment. If I keep them cryptic enough, they sometimes work. So this is what I'll say. Be straightforward. Say what you mean and mean what you say. It's a great way to build authenticity really quickly. I reach out to people and I say, thank you. It was great to meet you at this place. I look forward to staying in touch. Absolutely truthful, 100%. Nothing interesting, shady, whatever you want to call it, right? There's no back room to that. I just want to stay connected. And then if they do connect, I will follow up with something along the lines of, hey, I know that if we have a chance to conversate, we'll actually deepen the relationship. I'll get to know you a little bit more. You'll get to know me a little bit more, and we'll have the ability to collaborate, refer, all that good stuff, right? And so a lot of times people don't set up that meeting, but a lot of times people do. So I wouldn't be cryptic about it. I'd be very straightforward. I think you'll have better results. I want to get to a question that Glow put up. All right, Coach Glow Fabro, I promote my practice and a product within the practice. Question, is it better to simply promote the practice? How does LinkedIn feel about promoting products? Steve, you got an answer on that?
I don't think you want to ask the question, how does LinkedIn? I think you're talking about how do people. Let's not talk about LinkedIn. It's how does your audience? And I think, again, that is, people tend to be repelled when they're being sold. So Glow, you are an amazing lady with an incredible mindset, great energy. You've got a wealth of knowledge and value, right? So, why not lead with who and what you're about, and maybe tell stories on what you and how you've helped other people. I'd love to see you do videos, quite frankly, Coach Glow, maybe weekly, and then you're going to find people are going to swarm to you, whatever the word is, to want to know what you do and potentially buy or hire you for your practice, right? But I don't like to lead with selling something. I like to lead with what I can do to add value and how I've helped other people.
I think that's great advice. I think that really gets into it. Think about not what LinkedIn wants, but what people want, because LinkedIn really probably better than Facebook in a lot of different ways is much more a people-centric platform. The algorithm, the fact that they are appreciating the fact that people are connecting with people more than businesses. I think Facebook is much more about products and all that kind of stuff than people connecting with people.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's see what we got in the comments here. Glow says, muchas gracias, muchos hugs. And then Austin Austin says, if you add value to those you are trying to connect with, they will engage. I found a job using LinkedIn in the middle of the pandemic just by researching the proper people that I thought could be an asset to. It worked. Steve, let's talk about opportunities and how opportunities find people and people find opportunities. You know, it goes back to that old thing. What is it? Success comes, you know, like, you know, the luck, you know, comes to like the guy that's always, you know, I find that because I'm working every day, luck is always coming my way. I'm murdering that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think hard work creates its own, creates luck or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I murdered it. I'll have it together next time, guys.
I think we're both butchering it, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm a big karma guy, whatever. I believe you give good, you're going to get good, right? So the more good you're putting out there, I believe business will come your way, right? And I've seen it happen, right? I put a LinkedIn Fired Up Friday video. I think it was either last week or the week before, where it was called Harvest Time, right? And that was the title of my video. And you know, to me, it's like there's seed time, progression time, and harvest time, right? And you sow good seed, right? You're going to reap good seed. You're going to reap not good seed. You're going to reap the harvest, right? And so be consistent, right? I was trying to articulate this. I probably didn't have enough time in a 3.5-4 minute video, but you know, if seed time is here, right, and you got to go 6 months before you reap the harvest, right? Whether you're planting corn or whatever the harvest is, right? You know, you plant, then there's progression time. You got to take care of the crop, and then you reap, right? Well, a lot of times people have that mentality, but then during this time they're not planting. So therefore there's a roller coaster of success, because if it takes 6 months, well, now 6 months later, now you're getting a harvest. But what happens now? Maybe in the 7th month or 8th month, you hadn't been sowing good seed in the 2nd and the 3rd month after the 1st month. So now in the 8th and 9th month, there's nothing. And you have this roller coaster, right? So if you're constantly sowing good seed, there's always 6 months later, and you're always reaping good reward. And right now, for me, a lot of great stuff happening. The harvest time is here because we just continue to sow good seed. So not sure, Cameron, if I'm answering your question, but this is a great platform. LinkedIn is a great platform to sow good seed. That's really how I'll tie it in, I guess. Did we lose him? Oh, there we go.
That's great. No, I got something I'm going to show up on the screen. We got another question from Alan, but before we get there, because I think this will launch us into a whole nother thing, and people are probably wondering, why is my head so small down here, right? But I'm going to show you something here. This is an example of what not to do. So I saw this post on LinkedIn today. This comes from Christy Ellis, and this was a person that was reaching out and connecting with her. So here's this guy. There's John. And I'm going to make myself big here so if people can actually read this. Forgive me, Steve. So John says, Christy, it's a pleasure connecting with you, though we have different careers. So first mistake, guys, don't point out why not to connect. Just, hey, it's a pleasure connecting with you. Love to stay connected. Christy Ellis, you too, John. I love learning about different fields. So she's being very open. She's got the Steve approach down. Like, you know, she's listening. She's engaging. All right, here we go. John says, you are welcome. Hope the pandemic did not cause any damages to you. First of all, guys, don't leave negative statements. You don't know this person. It's a great sentiment, but it's not a great statement. Lead with positivity and talk about value and how you can help people, not about things that you can't do anything about. I have to say, the profile picture that got me attracted to you, I hope you don't see this offensive in any way. All right, guys. I want some comments about this. I know this is going to stir some stuff up. Guys, what do you think about this in the comments? Steve and I are going to get into this.
Yeah, there's a lot of creepers out there for sure. You know, it's sad, And some of my female colleagues, unfortunately, you hear it a lot from them that unfortunately there's people out there, creeps that are just trying to go and they're using it as a dating site. Don't do that, obviously.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Yeah, it's a professional platform. I mean, listen, after you've had several conversations, if there's a chemistry, okay, well then that's a different story. But don't make that right. I've had some people. I think there's lots of fake profiles out there. They're probably from Uganda, and if you're from Uganda, no disrespect, but they're people from that are being this this fake person and wanting to connect with me, and hey, I'm looking for somebody that I could build a relationship with. I'm sure it's a scam, and there's some that are scamming, some that are not. But yeah, don't number one, don't fall for it. If you get any of that, I would unconnect immediately. It's not professional, and that's not what we need to be about.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I'll say that's, because obviously we don't want to be creepy and you don't want to be using LinkedIn as a dating site. There's just I just don't think there's ever, especially, I think what Steve's sort of referring to, if you build a relationship and it ends up going someplace, there's lots of different places relationships can go. Accountability partners, coaches, business clients. There's a lot of places where relationships can go. The important thing is not to jump into any of that. Just reach out and be caring, be respectful, spell words correctly, capitalize the right letters. There was a lot of that stuff going on in that besides the general creepiness of it. Don't be racist, don't be sexist, don't be homophobic, don't be a jerk. I think that is something that if you are being political, for example, on LinkedIn, I am a political guy. You go to my Facebook, I take a stance. I care what I care about. You agree with me or not, I post it out there. I don't do that on LinkedIn not because I don't care and don't think that I should be promoting certain things, but there's another kind of conversation that's taking place on LinkedIn that is about bringing people together, not pulling them apart. So I think it's one of those places where if we can work together, a lot of those subtle things will get worked out in the mix. It's a better way to connect and engage. I also feel like on LinkedIn, the casual stuff just doesn't belong there. So if you wouldn't promote that about yourself and put your picture of that next to you on the front of the New York Times, the Time magazine, then it really doesn't have a place on LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I 100%. And, I heard it from a very wealthy person that's a mentor to me. He said this. He said, you're going to get paid based upon the most amount of people that you could attract and work with, right? And the most variety of types of backgrounds and and cultures and so forth. And so if you're going to put a political statement or a particular very religious statement, it's probably going to attract some and repel others. And yes, you want to be who you are, but that doesn't mean repel, right? And unfortunately, it could, we live in a world where people are easily offended. There's bipolarization. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's the word I'm making up right now. If there isn't. But, we don't want that, right? We want to we want to help bring people together and attract people. So I would just be very conscious to not mix. Unfortunately, right? They talk about it. Two topics you don't really typically talk about: religion and politics. Now, there's a way that you could give some of your feelings without getting too over top on religion, and same thing on politics, right? You still need to be authentic, but you just need to be sensitive to, is this going to repel people? Because if it's going to repel people, I would avoid it.
All right. We got a question from Alan Greenwald. LinkedIn makes suggestions of topics you might like in notifications. Do you utilize them or find them an annoyance? Do you know what he's talking about? I'm a little confused about topics in the notifications.
Yeah, I don't know of the topics. I know that there's some groups that they could suggest you join. I don't know of the topics though. Maybe Alan, you could expand on that some more, sir.
Yeah. Talk to us about because I'm looking in notifications right now, and there's a lot of different things. Now, if you're posting a lot on LinkedIn, for me, it's a messy feed inside of notifications. There's a lot going on in there if you're all over the place on LinkedIn, but I'm not sure what the topics are. So definitely give us some feedback on that.
There is a new feature that LinkedIn did bring on, Cameron. I'm sure you know about it, which is the stories at the top.
Have you used that?
I've used it sometimes. I've used it in a few ways, honestly. Number one, I post the stories. Like I posted, I think about this or about this morning's networking. I've posted little clips of Fired Up Friday because it allows you, I think, up to like 9 seconds of video feed in the story. So you could put up, or maybe it's 10 seconds, but whatever. So you could put up, and you get some viewership, and it's just another version of exposure. I'll tell you what I have done. I haven't been doing it lately, but when you do put up that story, I like to go, and LinkedIn allows you to go see who viewed it. So actually, what I'll do then is I'll see who views it, and I'll go in and I put a message together. Hey, I noticed you viewed my story. Cool feature that LinkedIn is doing here. How you like it? Just engage, right?
Yeah.
And then if they respond, hey, we haven't caught up. We should catch up.
Well, let me say this, because I think this is really important. And you guys are seeing, Steve is talked to me, and he said, I'm not into this techie stuff, but this is something that Steve is doing. Like, he is on LinkedIn platform. So this is his platform. This is his baby. This is his home. And they launch a new feature. He's on it. They launch in LinkedIn Live. Here we are. They launch stories. Here he is. This is the thing with social media, and this is on the techie side of things. If you're early, you win, because there's not a lot of other noise around. If you were one of the first people on any of these social media platforms and you were all consistent with it, you are ahead of the game. You are able to pick up followers and subscribers and all that long before other people. If you're checking in now after the platform is already established, everybody knows what they're doing, everybody's gotten past the wait and see phase, well, then it's a lot harder. Now you got to buy for attention. So get in early, try things, experiment those things, and leverage them for your business. If you make these bets early, right, they explode. It's very much like the stock market. If you were early on Facebook, if you were early on some of these tech stocks, you know what you're swimming in right now, right? Tesla, I wasn't early at all, but I invested 2 years ago. That stock is going crazy this year. Like, getting in as early as you can on a good thing is the right way. And when it comes to social media, we don't know if stories is going to be around next year. But in the meantime, LinkedIn, because it's a new feature, is going to push that. So get in there and play with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we got huge.
Alan is telling us something here, and then we got Glow said something too. I want to talk about after Alan.
Which one?
We don't discuss religion and politics. I mean that's going backwards. But I just want to say one thing. Again, I have a very successful mentor in my life, and talking about our marriage, or it could be in anything, right? He said, "You want to be right, or you want to be rich?"
Yes.
So it reminded Coach Glow. It reminded me of what you just said there.
That's awesome. Alan is saying he's having trouble with other. So let's see. Check out this new post in Business Aviation Network. I am hoping to get some help from members of this group. I'm looking for different opportunities in business aviation. Still would like to stick with sales. Does anybody know who might so this looks like maybe something he was tagged on, or maybe a promotional thing. I'm glad to share my resume to anybody. Check out this new post in Business Aviation. I hope. Yeah, I think this is somebody just trying to engage and
either a post or it was a group message, something like that. It looks like, yeah.
Small Business Weekly, the riskiest business for virus spread advice. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm seeing some of this stuff, but yeah, I think I would say anything that looks like an advertisement on LinkedIn, stay away from unless you're really, really interested. So Robert's checking out. It's 2:55, 55 minutes gone by so quickly. Robert says it's 3 p.m. He's going to go off and get ready. I have a feeling a lot of people are. So we're going to do this every Friday. We're committed to it. Really love some feedback. If you enjoyed this, hit the hand clap thing, hit the thumbs up. LinkedIn loves that. So give us some love here. I'm going to say my closing thought for leveraging your business on LinkedIn to grow your business is to really reach out and be of value to your current network on LinkedIn. And then as you move forward, right? So who have you neglected that's already in your fold? Are you tagging them on your posts to expand the reach of your posts? Are you creating engagement with them? Are you valuing them? Value the folks that you already have. Be thankful for what you already have. And then as you consistently build forward, really reach out and try to provide as much value you can to each connection. And I guarantee you the connection that you create, which you will create because you're providing that value, that connection will help spread your network and build your army to promote your business, to leverage LinkedIn and grow your business. Steve, I'm going to pass the baton to you. I got a bunch of comments to throw on the screen, so I'm going to give you the full screen so that you can have the closing section here.
Listen, you said it all, Cameron, right? But I just want to reiterate, right? And I could say it because it's Cameron's thing, but I highly recommend as a follow-up here, reach out individually. Let's schedule some time. I would recommend highly that you attend Cameron's Tuesday, 12 o'clock BizDev Live networking event. It's going to be different. And so I highly recommend attend that. You'll see what real connecting can be, in action and having fun with it. It's a great being on with you guys, Cameron. It's a blast as always. And I'm looking forward to doing it again next week. And obviously next week is Thanksgiving, but I'm okay with doing it if you're okay with doing it.
Yeah, no, I think, the beautiful thing about social media, guys, is if you're consistent and you're having fun with it, it's a pleasure. It doesn't feel like work. So we'll get on next week and we will make a really great Thanksgiving fest. We'll be giving thanks hardcore next week. We have so many people to be thankful for. So if you are chilling around in your pajamas on the couch, pick up the phone, pick up the device, check in, give some thanks for us. We will be having people on this show. So if you want to jump on and give some great success stories or ask us questions live, we really want to open it up to that. I think we're going to start inviting some really valuable people so that we're providing a higher level of value to each week. It can get a little bit tiresome just to hear from the two guys. We know the value of our networks. There's a reason Steve has grown his network to 11,000 people. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. So we want to make sure that you are getting something out of this, that we are providing value to you. So let us know how we can do that. And we will be inviting people to hang out with us and share their knowledge so that you have amazing things to tune into. Thank you so much for being with us. I know we're getting some great love from folks. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Glow, for tuning in. Steve, 2:59. You got the last word, brother, that we are out. Oh, you're on mute. That is the lesson, guys. We gotta all come up collectively, like with a theme song for 2020, and it would not be complete with "You're on mute." Go ahead, Steve.
I was just gonna say, I'd say let's close with what my friend AB Gabor, Liz's husband, says. Guys, go crush it.
Yes. All right, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. It is Fired Up Friday. We really, really, really love you. Come and check out the Master Connection series Fridays at 2 p.m. We are going to be here every Friday, and we look forward to connecting and making sure that you can master your connections. Take care.